This is the Samsung Q90R, one of the company's higher-end offerings in 4K resolution, and the TV you've seen in pretty much most of my living room videos for the past couple of weeks. Thing is, there's a famous saying, you only know what you want until somebody shows it to you, and I think that's been my experience so far. We're in the holiday season, a lot of people are shopping around for smart TVs, and if you're looking for a really good one, the cream of the crop, let's dive in. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and this is our review after a couple of months of use. My needs when buying a high-end smart TV are pretty much the same as if I were buying a flagship smartphone. It has to have everything but the kitchen sink. It should give me no reasons why I should consider the competition. And I would say that after a couple of weeks of using this TV, I have had that plus a couple of added surprises. The unboxing experience is actually very different to your standard TV. The box is larger than average, but there are reasons why. When you open the top flap, you're greeted by the One Connect box, which we'll discuss soon, literature, and the part 1 of 2 of this TV stand, as the rest requires opening the box from the bottom, where you can lift the TV off, and you'll find part 2 of the stand, which is metallic and crazy heavy for a reason. The model I've been using is the Q90R 65-inch, and right off the bat, you'll notice there are a few things that are unique from every other TV, just by looking at it. The first is design. As opposed to some of the thinner panels that are less expensive, this TV feels substantial. It's not really noticeable from the front, as the bezels are rather thin, but you'll definitely see it from the side. One thing that's rather unique about Samsung TVs is that they're powered by just one tiny cable, and then everything connects to that One Connect box we discussed. This allows you to mount the TV on a wall, and if you were to use Samsung's no-gap mount, you can actually make it look more like a picture frame. I'm actually more of a fan of using a stand, and this one is seriously my favorite. You can use any surface you want. You don't have to worry about buying new furniture because you bought the larger version of this TV. This stand is extremely versatile, and it provides a lot of substantial heft to the TV. The One Connect box brings a lot of I/O, 4 HDMI ports, lots of USB ports, and other basics, so you're going to be plenty connected. Now let's talk about this display. QLED stands for Quantum Dot LED, which currently powers the highest end TVs you can get. It allows for a wide color gamut and some insane color reproduction. Samsung is famous for some of the most vibrant and bright displays in the market, and this is one of the best examples. The TV is capable of HDR10, so if you have HDR content from YouTube or Netflix, prepare for some epic dynamic range. And then there's also full array local dimming, so the reproduction of black color seems almost as good as OLED, though here you have the advantage that you don't have to deal with the screen burn-in that OLEDs are notorious for. An improvement over last year's model is that the viewing angles are much improved. Doesn't matter where you sit, this TV will deliver. And then Samsung also fits it with some epic anti-glare coating, so even if I'm using a mix of controlled lighting and daylight for this video, it's really hard to notice anything or be bothered by it. And then there are also the speakers, which are bottom firing and very loud and crisp. I do also really like that experience. Professionals, an ideal solution to help you get certain things done better than you could with others. Now, powering the show, we have Samsung's new Quantum AI processor, which doesn't just handle the image color reproduction and HDR, but it does some really neat AI-based upscaling, which uses a database of images. What this means to you is that if you're concerned about how 720p or 1080p footage will look on this TV, don't worry. This is some of the best upscaling that I've seen this year, hands down. Guys, there's even AMD FreeSync. If you want to bring your full-blown gaming rig that has an AMD chip and you want to use this TV as your monitor, you can. I haven't really tried it much. A couple of my friends have, and they call it epic, so I'll definitely take their word for it. I will definitely recommend this TV as probably one of the best offerings if that's your jam. The user experience is Tizen OS, and I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say that this is my favorite iteration of Tizen ever, because I feel that it actually makes a lot more common sense than other smart TV user interfaces. If you've cut the cord like I have, usually if you switch on a Roku TV or Android TV, you're greeted by a menu, and that's it. Samsung, on the other hand, jumps into its own content first, just to give you a feeling of normalcy, like if you were connected to cable. I really like that experience. And then the second thing I like, Apple TV and AirPlay support, baby. This alone saves you nearly $200 on an Apple TV 4K, and the experience is, I'd say, faster and more fluid than if you bought a separate box. And this is just one of the many apps you can install. Now, one of my favorite features of this UI is that it's bottom-based, so you don't have to be yanked out of your content while you decide to watch something else. And then third, there's ambient mode. You can even make this TV mimic your background if you want, but my wall is white and boring, so I stick to choosing any other curated images that Samsung provides. Now, obviously, there's no such thing as a perfect product. Let me begin telling you about the things that I'm mixed about, and it actually begins with this control. It is beautiful, minimalistic, so practical. I love the design of the volume buttons and the channel buttons with this lip design that's easy to feel for. The biggest problem is that it's probably too minimalistic. Basic controls like muting the TV require more than the average, so you'll find yourself fumbling and adapting to it. Honestly, I'm just not a major fan of dealing with software to handle basics. The cool part is that this TV is part of Samsung SmartThings, so you can also just control it with your phone, and it doesn't even have to be a Galaxy phone. Download the app on your iPhone or Android device, and it's also a quick alternative, though obviously it's better integrated if you use a Samsung phone. The second is color accuracy, and this might just be me nitpicking. I mean, colors on this TV pop so much that there's certain content that looks a tad too saturated by default. Now, there are ways to tone this down manually in its defense, so just keep that in mind in case you're a purist. And if you are, I'd also have to throw in the fact that this TV doesn't support Dolby Vision in case that's something you care about. I am perfectly happy with the results of HDR as it is. And last but not least, there's Bixby. Yes, this TV has voice control, but it's as if there wasn't any. Really, Bixby is not my favorite service. It still needs a lot of work. But you have the advantage that you can connect other services. There are alternatives, so I'm going to give Samsung that. At least you get the flexibility with the TV. You're not forced to use it, or you just use the controller and that's it. To conclude, what can I say? I mean, Samsung owns smartphone displays, and if I had to narrow down one of my favorite smart TVs in this category, I would say that this is it. It is not cheap, but right now for the holidays you can find a ton of deals. We've narrowed down a few in the description. Still, even with the deals, you have to consider that this TV is pretty much at the higher price bracket for the category, but still, I don't think you'd be disappointed. We've got great design, an innovative approach to ports and connectors, a stand that will work on any surface pretty much, tons of expandability, a user interface that's very well thought out, and then the most important element, a best-in-class display. I have no problem in granting this device an editor's choice. Samsung's Q90R is as beautiful and as fun as it gets. If your budget can adjust to buy the best of the best, this is the TV we'd recommend any day. Let us know what you think about the Samsung Q90R in the comments down below, and while you're at it, follow us on social media. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Also follow me on my personal handles to see me play with these devices. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.